I'm so sorry I'm late. It was always my fault, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for waiting patiently for about 15 minutes. Thank you for everyone joining us on Spotify and after the fact on various streaming platforms. I will not scream. This time, I've learnt my lesson. I listened to my podcast last week, and I sounded like a piece of So I'm going to stop, minimize the screaming until in the middle. We have an incredible show as always because we have incredible guests and you, our viewers, who will steer the discussion, which will be very fiery. There's a reason why I picked these two gents. I observe the back and forth between these two excellent content creators, and I don't want to create an echo chamber in discourse, especially when Asa is so nice. I'm hearing feedback. I don't know where that's from. I will try and carry on. But before I do that, Asa, how are you?
I'm brilliant, Gaz. I love the way that every week we have the same conversation. We say, Gaz, please turn up like 5-10 minutes early so we can make sure that you're not getting feedback in your headphones, so we can get all the technical stuff on point, get it all checked and working. And then you turn up later and later every week and pretend that you're sorry. People watching, he's not sorry. He's a dickhead. He's not going to stop screaming. No. He's going to scream even more. The rest of what he said, though, I think was more or less true. So let's get on and have a good one.
Yeah. In fairness, you see, I had to shave a little bit. I hadn't shaved in a while. I was playing Evil West and Vampire Survive, and I was just looking a bit messy. And I've got some white hairs growing, so I had to trim those away. Just
vanity.
For you.
He kept you all waiting for fucking vanity.
If you get the white hairs, you got to keep them. You can't not. You got to let it grow, man. Just get.
Yeah, but yours is different. You've got multiple hairs. I've got like 3, so it's starting to grow. It looks weird. Like last week I had it, and it looked like I had something in my beard when I watched it after the fact.
Just look at the front, bro. It's just salt and pepper.
That's life.
I'm gonna be a silver fox, bro. I'm gonna take your girl. Watch out.
You do that. As long as you give us the entertainment value, I'm a cheap whore. But on that note, Alex, it took a lot, but I had to get you on. Thank you so much. I know you have a busy schedule to contest with, but it's good to have you on here, bro.
I wouldn't say schedule. Thanks for the invite. It took a bit because Gaz would DM me at like 8 o'clock in the morning while I'm working out, and he's like in a salon getting his hair cut.
And coffee.
That's true.
He's like doing all this stuff like, oh, I'm so prim and like fancy. I'm like in a garage that's like dingy and shitty and just like lifting weights. And he's like, are you going to come to the show? I was like, I got to ask my wife. And then he sends a video of like him asking my wife. So I screen recorded. I send it to my wife. My wife's like, yeah, just go do this thing. Get the hell out of here. I want to see your face. I'm like, yeah, all right.
I had to. The things I do, chat, you don't know in the background that I need to get guests on. I just had to implore BG and Alex to come on. BG, we had a great chat last time, and I had to get you on, and I had to get you on with Alex, because you two always have a back and forth. You're like me and Portorock, but I like Portorock, but I wouldn't
say that. It's just, I think we're the yin and yang of video games.
Yeah,
I think so.
And there's
kind of a setup because he didn't tell me Alex was going to be on. Like,
I didn't know BG was going to be on either. This was a setup.
What you did is what people accuse me of doing on my podcast, bringing on 2 people that I know are not going to get along. When I actually don't know that, it's pure coincidence. But you do it on purpose.
Yeah, I do it on purpose. I always do it on purpose, and I never tell the guests, or very rarely, to induce them to come on. Hey, do you want to come on with? I've got a couple of those too.
Between us is that whenever we agree, a circle of hell opens up.
Yeah. But and why do you disagree? Part. Is it just it's just different strokes?
Opinions. Yeah.
Different opinions.
Well, I refuse to let Alex upset me today, so
I'm not going to look. I'm not going to sit here. Look, I'm not going to troll you on purpose.
Well, I'd like to see how you navigate these waters, because my first topic of the day is a topic which, BG, you promised you would never talk about ever again because you were sick and tired of it on our show. But this week, you were talking about it. You'll always talk about it no matter how much you say you won't. You will, because you can't escape this stupid $70 game question. And who are you going at? Alex. And Alex was coming at you. And there's there are good arguments to both sides. Let me set this up in a way. Well, actually, BG, maybe you were right all along. Alex, what's happening, bro? God of War is the fastest selling first party launch game in PlayStation history, selling over 5.1 million copies. PC gamers who you've lauded up, you're a PC gamer, saying the master race would never succumb to this stupid, idiotic console peasant price point.
Oh, no.
And yet it did.
My question is, how is 2 years into a console cycle a launch game?
A launch game?
Yeah.
Did I say launch game? Sorry.
Yeah. No, even the article said launch game.
Oh, really? Oh, I apologize. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
First party game. First party game. Oh, is that? Well, it's the fastest selling first party game. I think at launch it sold maybe the most in the quickest, I don't know, period of time. But 5.1 million. Is your argument down the toilet? Because BG says, look, it doesn't matter. People will pay for quality. People are paying for quality.
People will pay, and that's what happened between $50 and $60 with Modern Warfare 2 back with the Xbox 360. They'll pay 60 to 70. I mean, if you go back and when Modern Warfare 2 was launched on PC and they removed dedicated servers, there was a massive petition on Steam to not buy Modern Warfare 2, and everybody signed onto that group. The day Modern Warfare 2 came out, guess what happened?
What?
Everybody was playing Modern Warfare 2. I mean, the thing is, like, every single person is 1 3-minute trailer away from being a pay pig. That's what it is. Like you can sit here and you can say, "Oh, I'm never going to play Blizzard game again," like because of what's happening in China. And then Diablo 4 trailer drops, and you're like, "Hey, what's up, baby? How you been? You know, been a while." So, you know.
Doesn't that compromise your argument? Because ultimately people are paying. So, BG, you said
fight for lower prices of games.
You say you shouldn't fight for lower price of games.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't fight for lower prices.
I'm not saying you shouldn't fight for it, but aren't you arguing against the masses who have confirmed that the price point is okay? If the masses are paying for it, they dictate that. That's fine. Like, they are in droves. The game's scored critically. Is this the new beast? I agree with you. I'm against the $70 price tag. I know it's inevitable, though. Xbox is going to do it next year. And in my opinion, very early next year. But BG was right. BG was right in when he said, what did you say, BG? Look, it's not, you called it a scam. You said people were getting scammed.
It's 100% a scam, yes.
How can it be a scam?
I'm sorry. You're paying.
How's the price point a scam?
You're paying more money for a product that was literally sold for $60 on the PS4, $70 on the PS5. And because it has a PS5 logo, it's not, it's $70 now?
A scam, but a scam would include some type of misdirection or misinformation. They're not telling you. They're not telling you, hey, because the game is $10 more, it's better, or you're getting more. They're not telling you that.
Why charge me $10 more?
But that doesn't make it a scam.
Wait,
there has to be. I have to be lying to you in some type of. I have to lie to you. I have to tell you a lie. Like, look, if I try to sell you a product and I'll be like, listen, last week it was $60, but this week it's $70. If I'm telling you it's still the same product, that's not a scam.
But that daylight robbery.
Wait. Last week it was 60, right?
Yeah.
So this week it's 70?
Yeah. That's not
why
a scam.
Does it 7? No, but why is it 70 this week?
If I don't tell you, it's not a scam, though. If I lie to you,
just
it's a scam.
because you don't tell me it's not a scam doesn't mean it's not a scam.
It's not a scam if I don't tell you.
Look, okay, so here's my argument about this whole thing. If the PS4 version of God of War Ragnarok is $60, why is the PS5 version $70? What's the difference?
I mean,
do I have to pay an upgrade fee for every game I get on PC because I upgrade the graphics card?
Aside from a few visual details, that's the only difference.
Thank you. So then I'm paying $10 for literally nothing more. Therefore, it's a scam.
Evidently, people don't care. That's the thing.
I'm not saying people should. I'm not saying people don't care. What I'm saying is it is an outright scam that people are in fact falling for.
The scam is a strong word, though.
If you were to say robbery, I might agree with robbery more than scam.
Like daylight robbery.
Why did you say robbery more than scam?
Robbery and scam are two different crimes. Robbery and scam are two different crimes.
Oh my! Yes, robbery is far worse.
But it's not a scam though.
What? Oh, come on!
BG, you lost me there. Wait.
Robbery. Because look, if you want to be upfront and be like what PlayStation is doing, PlayStation is being very direct and blunt force in saying this is what it is. Either you buy it or you don't.
That's still a scam.
Scamming would be lying to somebody and be like, listen, I'm gonna up the price, but I'm giving you something better. They're not telling you that. They're
So
not
if they demand a price under duress, they've got a gun pointed to you. It's not a scam.
It is robbery.
You better pay that money.
It's robbery.
But the thing is, but at the end of the day, it's still up to people if they want to be robbed. People are choosing to be robbed.
We can go back to Horizon Forbidden West when it was $60. They bumped it to $70. There was an outcry, went back to $60 for the upgrade.
Are people?
So then where is the line?
Are they choosing to be robbed or not?
Scam.
Are they choosing?
That metric prove that $70 games are a scam.
Are they choosing this or not though? This is free will. This is the market. This is capitalism.
The argument is not whether it's a free market. The argument is not whether people will pay for it. The argument is it a scam?
Okay. Well, we'll move from the semantics of it because ultimately, I know what BG's getting at. And are we just arguing for the sake of it? Well, ultimately, it's inevitable, like Thanos. Did you say that?
That is,
yeah,
I feel like this is such a bullshit argument. Like, oh, just because they're going to do it, it's inevitable. Like, there's always going to be lemmings and sheep and consumers, right? There's always going to be people that do that. They're going to be like, oh, it's $70, whatever. It's $10 more. They're not into gaming like we are. That's fine. Me, BG can attest to this. How cheap am I, BG?
Oh, you're a cardboard box PC cheap.
Yeah, I will put my PC in a pizza box if I could to save $10. But that's me though, right? So if you look at it from like the perspective of, it's inevitable. So then $100 games are inevitable, right? So then $600 consoles are inevitable.
If they get there.
So then, so my question to you is, where is the line? Because that all that is just a slippery slope fallacy.
Sure. I mean, it's a slippery slope, but games were $50 and $60 for how long? Like 10 years? I mean, multiple generations.
And then the market has moved completely digital. You don't even get the full game when you buy the actual product. Sure. They have season passes, they have battle passes, they have all this stuff you have to pay for on top of the $60 or $70. There's content that you're literally missing if you don't pay for it, like on top of the actual game you buy. Most of the games you buy now, you can't even fucking play unless you download a day one patch. So what are you even buying?
Okay.
Entertainment, man. Gaming is a luxury. Gaming is a luxury. Either you buy it or you don't. Nobody is forcing.
Doesn't mean I have to fucking pay out the nose for it, though.
Yeah, you don't have to pay at all. You could just refuse to buy it.
Yeah,
no, but BG,
you can just go ahead and pull an Alex.
There you go.
Yeah, and pirate the thing. BG, the only thing I understand both of your gents' points, but why I've veered towards Alex's side, and it's not because Xbox, fuck Xbox. I'll pay £80 if they get their bloody act together and actually deliver good games. But the thing is, there's a stand element here. Like with Horizon on PlayStation, we did see a fan base rally and say no because of a statement actually shot them in the foot. A prior statement committed PlayStation and it did a U-turn. And I just find that PlayStation guys are unwilling to take a stand because console wars or whatever. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying generally. And I just find, don't you think that's a bit?
For me, listen, I'm not that guy that's going to take a stand for anything. Like not regarding gaming, gaming. I just don't care. I just legitimately don't care. Like in things outside of gaming, I will absolutely take a stand for. I have strong opinions that I'll like.
Absolutely.
There's things in real life outside of gaming I would like boycott for, but gaming is just not it. To me, it's just not that serious. I'm not that guy that's just gonna take a stand. Listen, and let everybody else do it. I'm just gonna buy whatever I want.
Yeah.
I told you not to buy a 4080, and you bought a 4080,
and I love it. Love it.
Why?
Why do you hate? What's wrong with the 4080? Sorry.
Am I gonna fucking go on a tirade right now?
What's wrong with 4080? Why are you hating him for getting a 4080? He wants to get a 4080.
Oh,
What's wrong with that?
The 4080 is $1,200. The 4090 is $1,600. The price to performance that you're getting for $1,200 doesn't match the actual cost of what you're actually paying. If you're going to pay $1,200, you might as well just spend the $1,600, which is what NVIDIA wants. What NVIDIA did was they took a $600 GPU, doubled the price, because the 80 class cards are always for not high-end enthusiasts, but like the main market. So they're usually $599, at most $699. What they did was they doubled the price in order to push you into buying just a 4090 instead, when the return on investment on the 4080 is like $100. That's what it costs them to make that GPU, like $100 to $200. And they're charging $1,200 for it. On top of that, they've raised the floor on every other GPU coming out. The 4080 10 gigabit, I think the 16 and 12. Yeah, 12 was the same price as the 16 gigabit model. And on top of that, what happened was it's a different die, it's a different RAM speed, it's a different bus. It's basically a 4070, or actually a 4060. And they've literally removed the product from the market.
You're more of a PC guy than me? Is Alex correct?
The NVIDIA stuff, yeah, they've done some weird things with the 4080 and the two models and the one they pulled and all the rest of it. They have. It's a bit jarring to hear in the same sentence though, like, don't pay 10 more for a game, but you might as well spend 400 more for a 4090.
That's what they're trying to do, yeah. They're trying to convince you to say, hey, you're already going to spend $1,200. Why not just spend $400 more?
Here's the thing, guys.
Oh, that's what you're against? You're against the
100% against it. 100% against it. Yeah.
So you're against the 4090 as well. Like,
yes.
See, the things Alex says, everybody acknowledges these are completely true. Here's the difference. We don't care. Like, we just don't care what Alex is saying. We know you're right. We don't care.
Right.
We just want the product.
Look.
See, that's the difference in mentality.
Just consume product and then get excited for the next product.
And I do. That's what I do. And I'm happy. It makes me happy. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? Life is about happiness, is it not? The point of life is being happy. If consuming products makes you happy, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. No, you're not.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That's why I said to the people in Thailand.
That's exactly what products are for.
No, that's not.
Yes, it is. Listen, my general life, I'm already generally a happy person in life, right? So I'm not one of those people who like, oh, I need to spend money to be happy. I'm already happy. I'm just complimenting my happiness by buying the products I want.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Good life, man.
He's got a good life. He doesn't give a shit about anyone else or moral standing in gaming.
I'm not about to be the Martin Luther King of like gaming topics, and I'm not doing it. I'm not going to take this civil stand against what's going on in gaming.
I've gotten so far that I'm not buying a single NVIDIA product for this next gen, this upgrade that I'm doing. I'm going full AMD.
That's how much it bothers you.
Chat. It's been that much of an issue for me that I'm going full AMD, and I might even just drop Windows and go full Linux.
Okay. Well, this is why this is a good conversation and why you two butt heads. Fundamentally, your approach to gaming, both of yours, your mindset to this hobby is very different as far as perhaps the value aspect is concerned. The ethics are concerned, because I was getting in the neck for the PlayStation guys about ethics this week. We'll talk about that, and I'll clarify what that means. But the chat has, I'm looking at you, chat. Be nice in chat. Stop being weird. Chat has a different idea.
Chat, listen.
Ethics are overrated.
Let's get weird, chat.
Ethics are overrated. Ethics are overrated. Ask the chat all the products they buy. When's the last time you checked where it comes from and how it's made? When's the last time you did that? Do you know if anybody's being severely underpaid or harmed?
Now you're pulling the Vosh card.
I'm just saying. If you're going to do it with gaming, if you're going to do it with gaming, do it with everything else. Why are you doing it with gaming?
You can't like this thing because of where it came from. You can still enjoy a product even though it's had bad ethical things in the back end.
So that's what I'm doing.
But the thing is, do not sit here and try to like straw man this argument.
If you're going to have a moral standing for games, have it for stuff that like in everything else you buy.
But that doesn't make any sense.
But you're dealing with absolutes there.
Hey, I'm a Sith.
Yeah, so
I
you
deal
can't
with
buy anything.
I'm
You
a
can't
Sith.
buy food. You can't get
I'm a
water.
Sith.
I'm a Sith.
You can't
No
breathe air.
hesitation.
I deal with
Your
that.
house that you live in, like.
Oh, I love you, BG, man. Okay. Different mentalities. I actually understand kind of where you're coming from, BG, as far as the hobby is concerned. I spend so much of my energy and worries and things around gaming as well. Moral issues that do suck up the energies. You may have depleted your ethical caring for the hobby because of all of that. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you a carrot there. But the chat, Hoggy Channy, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Shout out to you, man. You're always generous. He goes, to be clear, Ragnarok is the fastest selling PlayStation first party game, and it happens to also be bundled with a PS5 console. Nintendo just sold more with Pokemon. 10 million in 3 days, despite the fact that the game is broken. So much for your stand.
I have never
Alex.
seen a bigger set of simps.
Fuck you, Alex, and your
Nintendo
bullshit.
fans.
No one cares. Nintendo. BG is right. BG is right.
Even I pre-ordered the game.
Fans, look, do you think Sony fans are bad? Nintendo fans will play a game of just if it came in a boot full of shit. They'd buy it.
Asa, you'd be sitting there quietly as always, but look, both gents have very different views on value and pricing in gaming. We have talked about it, and if I am notorious for getting your stance of things wrong when I regurgitate them or summarize them, but you aren't for the $70 price thing. We have had Mike Rose, publisher, who is staunchly against it. You agreed with him. What's your stance here? Are you aligning with BG or Alex? What's your view on this whole thing? The market ratified the $70 price.
I am of the opinion that as consumers, we should be fighting for our own best interests. It's not in our best interest for prices to go up necessarily. So in terms of the price of the game, what we should all want as people buying them is for that price to be as cheap as possible without compromising on quality and ethics. But what that number is less clear cut to me. And if someone were to offer me, like, I don't know, a God of War caliber game in virtual reality, I'd pay way more than 70 quid for it. Because I really freaking like gaming, and there is value in it for me beyond a set price point. So I'm not in favor of, definitely not on a corporation side, trying to push prices higher and higher and higher. On the consumer side, and I want them lower. Of course I do. Of course we all do. That's just common sense. But I'm also, the industry has been spiraling out of control in terms of how much games cost for a long time, the risk associated with them, and all the rest of them. You know me, I've always figured that game pricing, we absolutely shouldn't have an industry that sets a price at $70 and then tries and builds a game to that price. That's a problem that I have with the industry and the way that it works. That I've said many times. They should be making a game, looking at that game and deciding what is a fair price for the thing that they've created, rather than hitting the bullet points and hitting a list and trying to flesh it out and putting in all these like side quests and bullshit to try and justify the inflated value that they decided way in pre-production. But
yeah, that is the best take on this topic. I'm sorry, I'm the arbiter deciding. No, but it is BG. We are so fixed on the $70 price tag as a baseline. Do you agree or disagree? A game is made, whatever features that there are, you look at it and you have a dynamic price based on the content that game offers. I played Evil West. Fucking shouldn't be £3. Oh, well, it's not, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But with the $70 baseline, Sony just invites it, puts the ceiling higher. And I just don't think pricing is dynamic enough. And I think it hurts the industry if we ratify these things, irrespective of the number of people that subscribe to it and buy it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the whole industry, because I don't think it's a Sony thing, because Sony weren't the first ones to do it, but the industry is dictating what they feel like their price, what their game will sell at. Sometimes, it's a risk versus reward situation, because your game may sell less copies because people may not feel like it's worth $70. But then even if it sells less copies, because I don't know how much that $10 makes up for what you didn't sell, but that's a choice they make, is risk versus reward. And Right, like just like anything else, everything goes on sale. So if you don't that's my other thing. If you don't think something is worth $70, wait for a sale.
Okay.
We're not outside of Nintendo. Everybody else's game price drops. I mean, Sonic Frontiers was just $40. Even God of War, I'm pretty sure, give it a month, it'll be on sale. Maybe 2 months. So.
Well, Cole Eastwood, thank you for the $5 super chat. Because God of War Ragnarok charges you $10 extra for higher res and frame rate and nearly the same graphic settings as a $60 PS4 version. It's forced, he says. It's forced. And I don't see much noise about it because we've accepted it. Shab's Inevitable also, thank you for the £2 super chat. It goes, PlayStation 4 60, PS5 70. He believes it's a scam. Dick Wingbat, brilliant name, with the £4.49 super chat. Not managed to catch the show live for a while. Is it still? No, it's not my birthday. That expired a long time ago. We know when my birthday is now. Don't pretend. It's Jamaica's Independence Day, same day. So you cannot profess to not know. Hoggy Channy,
your birthday is 420.
I wish it was 420. That would be lit. Hoggy Channy, thank you with the $5 super chat. Lol, let me really tick you off, Alex. I'll probably get a 4090 Ti source.
That's like, oh man. Like the fact that they even left headroom for that kind of card. Like the 30 series, that's what pissed me off the most about the 30 series card. They were purposely setting up GPUs to have like a 10% or 15% variance between each one to slot in a TI in between each set. And it was like, oh, so you're just screwing me.
Yeah. And Hoggy Channy, who is against $70 games, now likes to be screwed.
$2,000 GPU. Wow. Way to go. Way to go.
Huggy, I'm sorry, but you kind of walked into that one by expressly stating it. Huggy Channy, also with a $10 super chat, he then says, market forces should make games more affordable as there are more consumers. Games should be cheaper as there are more players. More consumers, more dollars being made. Instead, it's being forced to 70. The man who's buying a 4090 Ti. Hoggy Channy, also thank you again with the $5 super chat. It goes, Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus, EA Pay Pro are pushing for more affordable options for consumers. Let's hope those get popular. Absolutely. They should get more popular. You'd think. But Xbox aren't really happy with the performance of Xbox Game Pass because they sell Xbox Game Pass subs are 10 million less than what they anticipated, which we'll talk about shortly. Before we go into the next topic,
I think it might have been 10%. I don't know if it was 10 million. I'm not sure. I think I saw 10% though.
It was supposed to be 35 million, and that's about 6 million short. Something like that. They're at 25 or 29. That's quite like sure 10 million short or something.
Oh, okay.
That's substantively short. Although, how much do you reckon, BG? That's because Xbox's game first party showcase was poor this year. Do you think that had a factor in it, or maybe do you think that hit the 35 if they actually had bloody games this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. As everybody knows, not a Game Pass supporter. Don't really follow it that much. But I'm sure having more first party games would have helped, because even though a lot of people who subscribe to Game Pass like to pretend that the biggest seller for them is the library of games, but let's be real, y'all buy it for the day one brand new first party games. That's why you really want Xbox Game Pass. I know y'all like to act like it's the library. Okay, maybe the library is like 25% of what y'all want it, but it's the first party games, day one is 75%. So I'm 100%
agree. Here's where a circle of hell is going to open up. As great as Game Pass is for people who do not want to spend a lot of money on games, Game Pass is not the be all cure for every issue that Xbox has. You cannot sit there and say, hey, Xbox has a major issue with their first party lineup. They have a big problem with trying to get games out. They're having delays. 2022 was atrocious for first party. Halo Infinite is still not where it needs to be. Like, these are big issues that Xbox has with leadership in their development teams and things like that. You can't just go, oh, Game Pass, baby. No, that's not.
I see that all the time. I see that all the time.
You can't just throw Game Pass on there and be like, everything's fixed. There's a lot of other problems that have to get fixed for Xbox to be truly competitive. And that's what they need to do, is fix those issues. Like, that's the thing.
No, and
a Gate of Hell has opened up. Great, BG. Congratulations. Look what you fucking done.
Well,
Jesus Christ. Another Infinity Stone captured.
It happens sometimes.
Hoggy Chenny with a $10 super chat. Thank you again. He goes, I can afford a 4090. I still want general consumers to have affordable options when it comes to gaming. So I can choose a 4090 Ti, but there are options available. $70 is forced on all. But as a counter, I would say, Hoggy, you're ratifying it as well, just like those who buy the games at $70. No? Before we go on to this very long, drawn-out topic, but we will split it in segments. Actually, before that, I want to get your take on something that caused a little bit of controversy last week, which I think was trending at one point. It was ridiculous. I want to talk about bloody Evil West. I'm working on a video that will come out hopefully soon. But this game, if you are in chat, you are thinking about buying this game, and you're like, Gaz, would you buy it? My answer is resolutely no. I just completed it on hard. You've completed it on Evil, BG. Bro, tell me if I'm right or wrong. This game is absolutely, I know you say it's a fun game, but I didn't have fun with it. I don't think I've hated a game so much in my life. This is a game that is 2 gens old in design.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Everything is, the camera is fighting against you. The movement and the glitches in this game, they will kill you. The boss battles are bad. The enemy designs are terrible. You've got like faraway enemies throwing yellow globules of AIDS at you. You've got enemies of bullshit, broken enemies that every single boss battle was shit. Story is crap. I've never skipped every single cutscene. Thank God you can skip cutscenes in this game. I just have, whether or not it's an irrational hatred for this game or not, I think I can substantiate my hate for it.
Guys,
but I did complete it.
Is this your first Focus Home Interactive title?
This is
no,
Focus?
It isn't. It's a Flying Wild Hog.
This is a Focus Interactive title.
Are they the publisher?
I
think they are. I think Flying Wild Hog are the developers, no?
Yeah, but Focus Home Interactive has a great propensity of publishing pretty much very bad B minus C minus games. My first interaction with Focus Home Interactive was a little game called Bound by Flame.
Bound by
Flame. It's one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah, the publisher is Focus.
Everything basically Focus pushes out is pretty much garbage.
I mean, Shadow Warrior 3 was made by Flying Wild Hog, the developers.
Oh, it's not about who makes it. It's about
who published
their name on it.
Oh, I see. I guess the Focus curse. Is that what you're saying? I don't know about that. I haven't. I briefly tried Shadow Warrior, but this game I hated. I've hated so much that it's still pissing me off. Then I'm thinking about it. That last encounter, BG, before the last boss was. It just built up. Yeah. I wanted to share videos. That encounter takes half an hour and is so cheap. And then it broke on me and I died because I got stuck on the floor. I was so angry. What's your take on it? Sorry,
it's crazy because like there's changes that you could make. Like I would give this game probably a 6.5 right now. But there's simple changes that I honestly think you could fix to this game, and it could definitely be at least a 7.5, maybe an 8. That's why I'm like, just to name a few things, right? The game has clearly wants you to explore, but they punish you for exploring. Example, right? Let's say you come to a fork in the road or whatever you call 3 paths. Let's say you do 3 paths, right? If you go to a certain path, right, and you go in that direction, the games a lot of the times will not let you go back. for no apparent reason. It's like going through an open door, right? It's not like the door closes. You go through essentially an open door. You turn around, the door is still open, but the game design says you can't go back for no reason. You can see it, you could touch it, but you can't go back. So there's 2 other paths that I didn't explore because I thought I would be able to go back that clearly have items, money, unlockable something. But the game says, no, you can't go back because we said so. Horrible game design. I'm like, whoever designed this level is an absolute idiot, right? And then you get the bugs. Like you said, the camera is fighting against you. You have enemies that are maybe 15 feet tall, right? And and they throw 3 of there's some instances where they throw 3 or 4 of these 15 feet tall enemies at you. And if 3 of these enemies are right in front of you, 1, you can't move because they body block you. 2, you cannot see a damn thing because now,
oh my God,
because now your camera is backed up into the wall. And plus on PC, there's no FOV slider. Criminal. It's an absolute sin. So the camera is literally inside of the wall behind you. So you can't see your character. You can't see your enemies. All you can see is the enemies just all attacking you at once, and you're blind. I'm like, whoever designed this camera and all that, whoever's job this is, you need to be fired too. Enemies, like the environment, there's something about the environment that it has invisible objects. Right. And like,
oh my God, I've got video clips of that.
Yeah, I do too. You'll be
roll
walking
into an invisible object as you're getting mashed up by an enemy.
You'll be walking. It's just open land, and you're stuck. And you're like, I'm looking down. There's nothing there. You're just stuck on an invisible object. It's so bad. Even the bosses do it. They get stuck on invisible objects. And I'm just like, did y'all play test this?
I don't think they did. That's my question. I was screaming like, did you playtest this on anything above easy mode? Because then you'd probably be forgiving. The first thing you do in the game, the first encounter, it bugged out on me. The enemy went behind a rock and I couldn't kill it. I had to restart the game.
And it's so crazy because I mostly have negative things to say about the game, but it's fun. That's what kills me about it. It's
What's
actually
fun about it?
Bro, the combat is actually fun. The combat is when you get to unlocking most of the moves, this combat is actually good. But
the game doesn't even let you unlock. It's so stingy with the money and the tokens that at the end game, I made a clip of it like just before I thought I'm near the end game. I'm looking at the sheets of unlockables, and I still haven't unlocked loads of them. And then the game asks you to re-roll your abilities and reset them multiple times. Yeah. And I'm like, bruh, just give me the abilities.
I would say buy the game when it's on a Steam sale, $25 to $35 if they release a laundry list of patches. That's when I would say you should buy this game.
Don't buy the game. No, okay, fine. Buy it at that price, fine. It's Game Pass fodder, then maybe. Also, I would not.
I'm going to wait until it's 35 quid, and then I'm going to buy 2 copies because I want to pay 70.
Alex is like, no. But this is just one of those games. I know some people were saying, look, I enjoyed it, and I was like, that's fine. I don't understand. Maybe.
The trophy's glitched. The evil trophy. I beat it on the hardest difficulty.
I would be so pissed.
It's glitched. I thought because the dude, when I was doing my live playthrough, dude came in and said, "Oh, I beat it on PS5, but on evil, but the trophy didn't pop for me." I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." I'm thinking it's an isolated incident. I beat it on evil on PC. Trophy does not pop.
So
I don't give a shit.
So you didn't get the trophy on PC?
No, I did not.
So you can just get an app, and you can just unlock that trophy on Steam. You're not gonna have to worry about it.
No. I didn't know that. You PC dudes just try to get behind anything.
You can just unlock it yourself, man. It's all good.
It's just crazy. That's how buggy the game is. Yeah.
Did you ever notice about something called Cheat Engine? You ever hear about that?
Cheat Engine and PC and cheating go hand in hand, don't they, Alex?
Yeah. Cheating, piracy, the whole shebang.
You just ruined crossplay for us. You ruined it. Well, this is a game, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a video coming out. Alex, have you played this?
I did a PC port review on it. It has massive shader issues because it's Unreal Engine 4. So, of course, their shader compilation pipeline is atrocious. So you're going to have that issue whether you're playing it on there or not. It works on the Steam Deck. You can get 60 FPS on there. But it's just... I played it and I was like, it is not. It is a lot of orange.
The first like 3 levels of
it hurt my eyes. I was like, this is bad. There's no FOV slider.
It does change up. The
graphics options aren't bad, but I think just as a game itself, I was like, I'm tired of this after 20 minutes of just testing.
That's somebody else who needs to be fired. Who is it? The environmental artist who decides what games look like? I'm like, whose idea was it that there's an explosion in the first 3 levels, so they're like, okay, there's an explosion, so we're gonna make everything in the game red. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Nothing. And then the explosion is yellow, and everything in the background is red, and you're like, why? What is this color vomit on my screen? Like, it's the same thing with like Deus Ex Human Revolution when they had like the piss filter. And everything was just fucking yellow. And you were like, oh, great. Exactly what I wanted. A yellow filter over everything.
It's ugly. It's hideous.
There's some game design. A lot of people are like, in BG with you, I share an affinity where I don't like to tickle developers and say, keep them discourse away from them and don't criticize them and da. Nah, I'm like, bro, you guys do a shit job, then I will say it. Oh, but you're not a developer, it's so hard. I'm like, I wish people had sympathy for me in my field when I falter or the industry falters or whatever. It's stupid. But you're right, I share your sentiments. There's so many laundry lists of things. If Flying Wild Hogs devs were there in front of me, I would probably be even more emotional in the manner in which I would say, what are you guys doing here?
And I beat Shadow of, what was it? The game they made before? Shadow
Warrior 3?
Yeah, I beat that. And that game actually had no glitches. It was a shorter game, but that game is kind of glitch free, even though it's not necessarily good. It's kind of glitch free.
Like a poor man's Doom, that game. That's how Cole describes it.
That's exactly with stutters.
Yeah, it starts. Yeah, well, that's why I can't really see myself playing that. But Flying Wild Hog have a bit of a mark now on their name because they have raised my blood pressure tremendously. I have hypertension as a result. Methuselah, thank you so much for the New Zealand $3.49. He goes, gaming is a luxury and not a right. It's not water. Wow.
That is such a bullshit argument. Having central air is a luxury, not a right. It's fucking stupid. It's a dumb argument.
Methuselah, what do you have to say to that? He said it. I didn't say anything, although I do agree with him. Splendiferous, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. With Patois, I'm going to try and get this right. Boss, take it easy. Demand... What? Gaz Rasklat. I'm not reading the rest of that, Splendiferous. You always hit me with the patois. I cannot get it right. My Jamaican mates would kill me. Drawn TJ, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He goes, hi guys. Hi, Drawn TJ. Shabs, thank you for the $2 super chat. He goes, Vampire Survivors is game of the... You, man. Don't trigger me. Asa, you grimaced there at how long that censor beep was. I'm sorry. Shout out to the 463 people watching. Please hit the like button. We have a lot to talk about. Last week, we had ACG and Neo GameSpark on, and we had a great conversation about Game of the Year awards, award systems, and all of that. Then ACG said the Video Game Awards are corrupt. He didn't say the jury's corrupt. He said this, and I viewed it as he's saying it's systematically corrupt. But someone who watches the show, Paul AFC, he clipped it, shared it. So I just retweeted it thinking, oh, no, that's a bit of the clip. Boom. World War III for the nerd version on gaming as far as that's concerned. Everyone got pissed, calling the game the awards, or his take on that. BG, you said this, and I want to talk to you about it. You said, y'all make a lot of things about the Game Awards. Y'all make a lot of things about the Game Awards. This thing is so complicated when it's not. Okay, basically making it complicated when it's not. Like every other award show you say in the world, it works the damn near same. Why are there so many tiers about it? Why is it not Jan to December? What award show is? So I just wanted to tackle that point. Yes, we talked about this on the show. Like, I get that. Oscars, or all of that. But don't you agree that recency bias the thing? Don't you think it's weird that this industry that's geared to releasing more games in the holiday season doesn't allow that December game to be in the year that it's in? Only because, and the thing is, Jeff Keighley has expressly said the reason why. Money. Advertisers will not push shows around end of December because it's post-Christmas or thereabouts. But don't you think it's a bit silly in the gaming space? Most of the games come out in December, so shouldn't it be Jan to December? Like, and
you mean you mean November? Like, a lot of games come out in November. There's not
November, December. We got Callisto Protocol. That one make the cut for Game of the Year or whatever because it's not out yet. Yeah. And the Game Awards won't facilitate that. Next year, will people actually remember? Really? That's a 2022 game, bro. What? If that hits, we'll talk about Callisto Protocol next. But isn't it fun as a result?
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, recency bias is definitely a thing, but I think if you look at the winners from, let's say, the last since this actual Game Award started, there's winners from all parts of the year. It Takes Two, I think that came out in like March. The Last of Us Part 2 that came out June, July, something like that. They come out. The winners end up being from all parts of the year. I mean, Elden Ring may in fact win this year. It probably will win. That came out in March. So. I think that recency bias.
What December games have come out won Game of the Year? I mean, whether or not they've been worthy to win, there's another question.
I don't think there's ever been a game that's came out in December that people would be like, oh yeah, that's definitely Game of the Year worthy. I don't think most developers, would release their game in December if they think it's Game of the Year worthy or if that was their concern. And then when you look at every other award show, nobody really does it. Does the time span from January to December and then has their show in, January or February. I think might be one show that does that, but most of them don't. So it's like, and as far as like how them being transparent on how these things work, I mean, you could go to the Game Awards website and they explain their advisory panel, and they explain that it's like, I think it's 10% of the public's vote, and then the majority is the advisory panel's vote, and the advisory panel is literally people from like all publishers, EA, Nintendo, PlayStation. So it's not like, people think, okay, like what is somebody paying off all these individuals from all these different? I'm like, come on,
That's not what we're saying. When we say corruption, we don't mean
other people were saying that.
I mean, people are saying that in chat right now. They're like, it's biased, corrupt. Forza keeps coming up. Forza should have been nominated.
No, don't. This whole Forza thing is the stupidest argument. Forza was nominated for multiple awards. It just didn't get nominated for Game of the Year. That doesn't mean it's corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so crazy to me. I've never seen so many people cry about winning. Like, Forza won awards. I think it was more than one. But this is why to me, it often looks like some Xbox fans are very desperate for validation. Because how do you win an award? And everybody says, even everybody kind of accepts the fact that, listen, Forza is the best racing game there is right now. Forza Horizon series is better. Even the regular Forza, like, I don't play racing games, but this is what's said. It's even better than Gran Turismo. So it wins best. It wins best racing game. It wins something else, and all you can focus on and be mad about is it's not nominated for game of the year. No racing game has ever been nominated for Game of the Year. If you think that should change, then I can understand that.
Yeah,
but
that's what I've been saying.
But like, you don't see other racing games. There's been other great racing games, and those publishers and developers aren't crying, and they explain to you that, listen, they just didn't nominate that for Game of the Year. What are you crying about 2 years later? If the game is, listen, Uncharted 4 lost to Overwatch in 2016, I think it was. Plenty of fanboys thought it was crazy, but they didn't cry about it a year later, bro. It's been 2 years. Y'all need to move on.
Nick Massey's still crying about it.
I can't, but like, listen, it is absurd. If you think this game is so amazing, you should not need some game awards to validate that for you. That's why I think, like, listen, everything just shouts, oh, we need validation to feel better about our games, because, like, bro, why are you still crying about it 2 years later? I'm sorry. It's crazy.
The thing is, like, this goes back to the whole like media bias thing. We had that before, and I've literally seen it in the same week. Oh, the media is biased against Xbox. Well, no, they're actually biased against PlayStation. Like, what on earth are, like, if they're biased against both, then there isn't a bias, is there?
The thing is, though, the Forza
argument.
conversation, though, like, I'm not a massive Xbox guy. I don't play Forza Horizon because I like my racing games to support virtual reality. But Forza Horizon, in the year that it came out, Forza Horizon 5 was like the top rated game of the year, as far as I know. It's a massive commercial success. And I think so when we talk about the Game Awards, it's not about the people voting being corrupt. It's about the fact that it's really hard to comprehend, as the people watching it, it's hard to comprehend why it doesn't qualify. Why doesn't a racer qualify for Game of the Year? What is the criteria? How are you measuring these games? And saying that the highest rated game of the year, that's massive commercial success, really critically well regarded, all the players love it, not even going to nominate it in the top 6. And that's where so when ACG was saying that the awards are corrupt, he wasn't saying that people are biased or they're paid off or anything like that. He's talking about corruption in the way that, like, data can be corrupted. Like, if you mishandle it, the output's not right. It's not right. And that's the corruption that he's talking about. And the problem is corruption is a strong word, and you get all this association with, like, politicians and all the rest of it, where corruption means something very serious, and people hear it as an accusation. But I really don't think that's how he meant it.
No, he didn't.
Forza launched when, 2020 or 2021?
21. Last year.
2021. Last year.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So, like I said, the problem is racing games are not considered games that could be game of the year. That's I mean, you'd have to talk to them. I don't know. Like I said, I don't play racing games because I think it's because people look at racing games as one dimensional, whereas it doesn't have that much depth. This is what people generally say, because all you're doing is necessarily driving, and people don't think it has as much depth as like an RPG or an action adventure game, right? That's generally how it's seen. But I agree with that. Listen, it's a game. If it's highly rated, it should be considered at least to be nominated. Not saying it has to be nominated. No, but people are making it seem like there's some type of like coalition and effort against Forza and Xbox as a brand. That's not why. That's not why Forza was not nominated for Game of the Year. Because they keep bringing up, they said it was the timeline. No, that's not the timeline. That's not the problem, because like I said, it was nominated for other categories. Why was God of War? Because both of them were nominated. God of War was nominated this year. Forza was nominated last year. They keep making it about some type of platform thing and bias thing, when no, it's the fact that it's a racing game. Focus on that problem. No racing game has ever been nominated. So talk to them about that they should consider racing games. Stop making it a platform thing, because no racing game, regardless of platform, ever gets nominated.
But so, in saying everything wasn't
GT7 nominated this year for Game of the Year as well?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
That would have been fun in games if that happened.
That would have been like, yo, listen.
Can you imagine? That would be brilliant. I kind of I wanted that to happen.
Thing ever.
But everything you've said, BG, is actually, you questioned it. You said, what is an award show? It's simple. Yet everything you've just said is lending credence to what we were saying last week. That systematically, there's no justification. You said the FAQ page on the Game Awards website does give you all the parameters. No, it doesn't. It tells you the composition of the panel. It says the numbers and how they arrive at a vote. But they don't even come close to telling you what parameters or categories that are justified in assessing what constitutes a Game of the Year. And that is all we were saying. And I tried to tell Porterog, bloody Nick Massey, bloody weaponized it, thinking it's a console thing. And I'm saying, quote tweet, Xbox sucks. It doesn't deserve an award this year at all. Go away. Now come back to the grown people, adults table, and let's talk about what this medium that is so in-depth, especially gaming with this interactivity, systematically doesn't give any transparency in how these votes are arrived. And that is all we were talking about.
The whole
and
thing is basically it's whatever journalists go up to bat for that game. That's what it is, because like it's not voted via like, oh, we just like this game or not. It's basically they go into like a round table and they say, okay, well, this game is good. Explain why this game is good, and then whether or not the other journalists agree with that is what happens.
But they don't explain it, Alex. They literally cast a vote. Paris Lily's on the panel. He's going to vote Death's Door last year, and that's a shit game. No, but I just want some clarity.
No Death's Door slander.
Good. I don't know what you're talking about.
No Death's Door slander.
Death's Door's overrated. I completed that.
You're an actual psychopath. You're a psychopath.
That game's really good. That game's really good.
So basic. I don't know. I just thought it was like, man.
So I mean, I don't think it has to be like severely and explicitly explained, because like Alex said, that's kind of how it goes. There's a discussion, a deliberation that that goes without saying, that these industry heads, they discuss what games they think were the best of the year, and like I said, it's 10% of the public's vote, and that's how they after these heads choose what's been most impressive. That's how it goes. That's how it kind of goes with all awards. And I ain't gonna lie, I find it a little bit, the timing of this is I think is a little bit dishonest, because I'm like, why now there is so much question about how is this done?
By whom? By us? We asked it last year.
I don't know, man. The fact that Overwatch 2 won Game of the Year is fucking nuts to me.
Overwatch 2?
You mean the first one?
Overwatch 1, excuse me. I mean, it's the same game.
It deserved that.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking game. It doesn't matter.
Same game. Of course it did. It had deserved Game of the Year easily. What, Uncharted 4, the fourth iteration in the same game where you climb rocks and swing because they've had fucking fancy visuals and a good story and nice graphics.
No,
Look,
Overwatch is one of the worst first-person shooters ever made.
Oh, this is Alex hot take. Oh my god.
I agree with that, but people kill me for saying that. I think
What?
that game's
Overwatch
horrible.
is one of the worst first-person shooters ever made. It's a class-based system in a multiplayer game.
Hell is opening up.
Provide actual metas, and the thing is, those metas are constantly broken. The entire map is structured into multiple choke points. TF2 is a much better game, by the way. If you're going to play on a class-based system, you might as well play Team Fortress 2. Overwatch is a horrible fucking game.
I agree with that.
No, it's not. This is
Yes, that game is terrible.
Okay, you ready? The only reason you like Overwatch is because of the porn. That's the only reason that game is successful. The only reason Overwatch is successful and in the mind's eye is because the porn is good.
Gaz got to show his history now.
Nothing is good about Overwatch.
I have never watched that.
You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. You never watched bullshit. You've seen Widowmaker get fucked. I know you have. Don't fucking play me.
You got to show your browser history live on
the chat
stream.
says facts. Thank you.
Show your browser history.
Show your browser history.
It's all about Diva. No. Okay, I massively disagree.
Just to, I guess, so the chat brought up Burnout 3 was nominated back in 2004 at the DICE Awards, apparently. I'm like,
what?
Okay, all right, y'all going back to 2004 by DICE. And here's the thing: the DICE Awards chooses games based on, I think it's more about the technical aspect of the game more than anything, right? I think that's I think that's what the DICE Awards are really about.
I think it's also via developer too, right?
Right. It's kind of different than how these games are necessarily chosen. But sure, if you want to go back 18 years to make a point, hey man, have at it. And they're bringing up Halo.
You got that W there, buddy.
And they're bringing up Halo. They're bringing up Halo Infinite wasn't nominated for I don't know anything, or I don't know if it was anything.
Are we talking about Halo Infinite right now?
Listen, I'm sorry to tell you.
Halo Infinite should be in the fucking garbage.
If there was a shit failure of the year award,
it's Halo Infinite. That's where it should be.
I'm sorry.
I like Halo Infinite, but listen, I'm sorry to tell you. If you think Halo Infinite was a game that deserved to be in the game of the year category, something is severely wrong with you. Get your head checked. And I like that. I like Halo.
I'm a Halo fan.
I like the campaign, but something is wrong with you. You have your perception on Halo is diluted. There's so many things wrong with that campaign. Like, even though I liked it, like I ain't gonna get into it.
Fuck the campaign, dude. Just
call me a pony if you want.
Game in general, I put in over 100 hours into Halo Infinite between the multiplayer. Okay, the fact that the game itself shipped completely barren, empty. There were basic modes missing.
Bro, you like it more than Overwatch, though, right?
It's better than Overwatch.
There you go,
the game
of the year.
Played well. Yeah, game of the year. Yep, game of the year. You got me.
Nice.
Give me 30 pony seconds, because they're gonna say I'm a pony. That's fine. I'll accept it.
Go for it.
I could be a pony and still tell the truth, right? See, because here's the thing. Halo Infinite, that open world was probably made like almost by a company of amateurs. That's what the world was. It was barren, it was empty. They had pretty much 2 or 3 variety of side missions. It was the high value target missions, and it was like the save the other soldiers. Those were like the 2 missions. There was no side mission variety. Like I said, the open world had no variety. It was just trees,
one biome,
trees and rocks. The entire world. It was barren. It was empty. It was boring. The story was okay at best. Like what game of the year are y'all saying?
Yeah,
the visuals. I'm even maxed out on PC. Even maxed out on PC, the game does not look that great. So what part of this game screams game of the year to y'all? Which part? I really want to know. Call me a pony. Like I said, call me a pony. It's fine.
Chat, I actually want someone to answer that. What qualifies Halo as game of the year material? I don't understand it. I get the core gameplay loop is fun, but everything is so anemic around it. And I'm a massive Halo fan. And we had these parameters set before it released. It has to have multiple biomes like every single other game. Like every single other Halo game has had multiple biomes. Why don't you have that here? Like, why do you have a broken game mode? Didn't even have Slayer at launch. It didn't have Big Team Battle was broken for a month. They lied about microtransactions. I can talk about this forever. But yeah,
they lied about the cosmetics. They lied about the expansions. They lied about the season passes. They lied.
Co-op is broken.
Nothing fucking worked. There's desync issues. There's like, come on.
Still to this day, there's desync issues. Look, guys, BG, you are right on one thing. Halo, the big reason why. Look, this is the problem, especially with my Xbox bias, but I'm still not stupid that I will go ahead and relent here. The reason what you were spot on one thing, Xbox guys generally in the community, if you're going to broad brush them, are looking for validation. And Forza was their best chance in their eyes for finally getting a Game of the Year nomination, because many games don't even get nominated. Xbox has never won, as far as I'm aware, a first party game has won a Game of the Year award. So that's where it's coming from. Y'all
are bleeding on the wrong person. Like y'all are hurt, and y'all are bleeding on Jeff Keighley and everybody else when you should be bleeding on Phil Spencer. Nobody has led y'all to feel this way besides Phil and Xbox. But nobody else did that.
I kind of had to fight you on that one, because Phil Spencer basically saved an entire brand. Like Phil Spencer had a ship. Phil Spencer had a fucking fucking carrier that the U.S. has, full of planes, all exploding at the same time, with jet fuel being poured on by the people literally on the carrier, and it had piles of shit being dropped onto it that just said Xbox from Don Matrick, and he literally took the ship, fixed it, put the fires out, and he's like, okay, now we can fucking do something.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like I.
He saved it. He saved it.
It sucks. There's no first party games, but literally that brand was going to fucking die.
Yes.
Agreed.
It was.
My only point is, you can't be mad. Like, they're pointing the finger at everybody else and saying, "Oh, it's biased." You can't blame everybody else. Nobody else is doing anything to hurt Xbox. Yeah, sure. Blame the history and who came before Phil Spencer. I like Phil. But it's not anybody else's fault. Is all my point is.
I 100% agree with you. Phil Spencer did save Xbox, but ultimately, when it comes to them falling short, don't project it on the Keighley's. I don't agree with the racer category. I don't think that logic makes sense. That's why you're screaming for more transparency and some fixed parameters, because I think Game of the Year, what constitutes Game of the Year? We talked about it last week, said impact is a good way. How do you assess impact, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I don't want to regurgitate, but both gents, I think you hit it on the money there. It's an Xbox problem, and whilst we can attribute Xbox's revival to Phil Spencer, absolutely, the guy is a great guy, great leader, and all of that. he also, inversely, he needs to be held vicariously liable for the failings as well, which he has admitted. But it's like, okay, enough talk. Show us. So hopefully next year is that year where they show us. Mandingo McDickens, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Question: is Alex permitted to go nipples out on this podcast for a 50 spot? Of course he is. Of course. We will easily.
Bill. That's all you're trying to do.
We will whore out our guests for money. Absolutely, we will. If that's what you're asking. Oh God, the chat is getting messy, BG. So we've got.
We're such a fucking problem, dude.
Well, bro, BG, I was on your show. I was getting the same treatment. So it's swings and roundabouts. Hoggy Channy with a $20 super chat. He goes, it's actually generally the end of October for TGA since announcement for nominees are made before the deadline. The Game of the Year norms are required to be decided even earlier. All other award shows are beginning of the next year. Interesting. Okay. Calvus Horado, thank you for the $2 super chat. Shout out to Gaz, Asa, Alex, and BG on GameOnDaily. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat, man. Shabs, thank you again for the £2 super chat. Chrono Trigger Game of the Year for all years.
All time. All time.
Thanks, Shabs. Hoggy, thank you for the $2 super chats. He goes, TGA should be in March and cover the year before. I think no one would give a shit if it's in March, if it's in for 2022. I don't know, maybe. But fair enough. Grumble, thank you for the $5 super chat, because none of this matters to me. I won't watch the TGAs. The trailers will all be on YouTube separately, alluding to the fact that he only watches it for the game announcements, which is a smart play. I understand. Peter Morland, thank you for being a member for 9 months. 9 months, that's enough to give birth to a child. He says, just to lighten the mood. Great show tonight. Really enjoying Alex and BG. Thank you, Peter Morland. That's great super chat. Thank you, Spartan, for the £2 super chat. Halo Open World felt like 2002. Pure trash. Chat, that's what Spartan Ghost _17 said. Do you want to fight him? Do it in chat. Mike, thank you for the Canadian $5. BG is the same dude who cried about review bias over Horizon Forbidden West. Don't come here telling us Game Award is not corrupt either.
That's completely untrue.
Wow.
That's completely untrue. So this is how I know. See, comments like that shows me that people actually don't listen to me because they don't like me, right? They assume what I say, because you can check the tweets. I literally have tweets up telling people, why do y'all crying about Horizon's review score? Who cares? And the dude from Survivor, who everybody hates, I did an interview with him. It's on my channel. I told him, it's in the video. I said, I don't know why people are so mad at you and why they care so much. So I actually stood up for him.
So why is he saying that?
Because people assume, because I'm a PlayStation fan, they assume the things I say. You cannot find one tweet. You cannot go anywhere and find me crying about Horizon's review scores. You can't find it. Doesn't exist. I told people to stop crying. Find the tweet. Wow. I bet you he can't. Doesn't exist.
That's dishonest that in chat. Why would you say that? Go out of your way to me. It's happened to me. They literally said the opposite of what I've said and posted it out. I'm like, show me. But yeah. That is frustrating when it happens, unless you bring the receipts in chat. Who was that gent who did that? Let me control Z. Oh, fuck, I've lost all my super chats. Well, we'll find out. Anyway, bring the receipts or get murked, because you can't do that. We'll call you out for it. Delta 169, Stray is overrated. Vampire Survivors should be in its place instead of Stray for Game of the Year. Agreed. 100% agreed. That game is so overrated. I'm still on my Steam Deck trying to muster up the courage to play that boring game. Hoggy Channy with a $10 super chat goes, what qualifies Stray as Game of the Year? All the issues with Halo are valid. I'll compare you to other Halo games. Fact that you have played it for 100 plus hours says something. What other game comes close? COD? Please. Well, I'm not capping for Stray. I think you know what my views on it very clearly, Hoggy. I don't think... BG, do you think Stray deserves to be nominated?
I would put Sifu over Stray.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Usually, what they do is try to pick at least one indie game to put in the Game of the Year nominee, and that's most likely why Stray is there. Do I think it deserves to be there? No, but I'm not crying about it. It is what it is.
Sauce.
You know what it is? Vampire Survivors was in early access the whole year.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. It didn't hit 1.0 until recently.
But is that reason why it shouldn't be nominated?
I mean, usually you don't really see early access games for that kind of thing.
Okay. Because I love that game. I was playing it before it came on.
If it was like best early access or best something like that, then maybe that would be there. But it is a phenomenal fucking game.
It is a great game. Don't sleep on it in chat. It's addictive. It's like crack. That game, oh my god, it's just hitting the dopamine release like mad. See, Wubby U, thank you for the $2 super chat. It goes, Halo wins Game of Broken Promise. Yes, definitely. Spartan Ghost with a £2 super chat goes, let's be honest, VGA is an opaque scam like the Grammys. There's that scam word again. Shout out to the 522 people all watching. Thank you so much. We've got a lot to cover here. And it's been very invigorating chat, very fired up chat and guests. And also, I just want to quickly talk about this thing. I saw you comment on this, PG. It's EA called out a fan for having milkshake brain. Took the whoever's running the EA official Twitter was getting pissed. And it was, do you know? So some guy was like, what was it? It was like, oh, put something on the DLC or pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
He called him Milkshake Brain. The guy goes, Milkshake Company, and then Need for Speed replies, cry about it, bro, or just buy the regular price. I don't care. He goes, and then the fan responded, I was going to buy your game on release day, but due to the admin of this account, you've lost a sale. Blah, blah, blah. Stay edgy. Keep relevant for the 12-year-olds. You ain't half as cool as you think, Chief. You're an embarrassment and unprofessional. To which Need for Speed replied, I'm not reading all of that. Sorry that happened to you, or congratulations.
Yeah, it's definitely a zesty like new intern on that account, and I like that. Like I think because like people go against, I think when they see like it was I think he thought it was like something unwarranted in the DLC or the season pass or something like that. But I think they corrected him, right? Because there was he misunderstood. It was a bit of misinformation he was passing around. And they just snapped back at him. And I like that. Listen, I wish more developers would do that. I know they can't or they won't because they're afraid of losing support or looking bad. But listen, I like a good snapback. I'm like I was already going to buy the game, but I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely buying the game now.
It did the opposite for a lot of people, including me. I was always going to buy the game, but I'm definitely buying it now. And it's EA, so they're like, well, our reputation can't get any worse, so we might as well fucking start taking shots. And then ultimately, they apologized for it, which sucks. They apologized. And they said, we admit we got a bit caught up in the hype for launch and some of our recent social media replies crossed the line. To those fans upset, we apologize. We will do better. See you here next week. Why? Why would you undermine and undo all that good work? Asa, you are not a fan of social media site for big companies trying to be all chummy and funny. Xbox does it all the time. And I'm like, what do you think?
It's funny, the Need for Speed one specifically, the Need for Speed trailer came out, the first trailer, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I like what they're doing there, trying to make that game a bit distinct from the many, many other races. And within a day of that trailer, that social media person said, people are coming at your boy with this stuff like BOI. And I was like, fuck you. This is for 12-year-olds. Your social media manager has absolutely put me off of this game. And that was before all of this, like, and I was like, no. I hope that you're very separate from the game and it is still going to turn out good, but no, I'm not there for that social media manager.
Why did you holler at your boy, man? What's wrong with you? Well, with different strokes for different folks. I just like the no bullshit attitude. I'm like with BG on that side. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game because that looks great. Now, this topic before I go into it, actually, let me read these super chats. Sorry. Jimmy Andel, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. What do you think of Sony going bigger with the China Hero project? I think it can be a weapon in Asia. Can't wait to for Lost Soil aside. I don't know.
Yeah, Lost
Soul. Okay, that's a typo. What is that? What is China Hero Project and what's Lost Soul Aside? I don't know about these.
It's like a DMC kind of game. It's got very beautiful anime women in it who are very thick.
And the China Hero Project is pretty much, as far as I understand, Sony is funding these like Chinese indie studios and developers to pretty much just bring their games to life. You know, specifically Chinese developers, and they're that's really it. Just these projects that I think they think that has a lot of potential, and they're just going to fund it. And because like this Lost Heroes side, we first saw this, I want to say like 2014 or something like that. But I think originally it started out with one developer making it. You know, it's one of those things where it's one person is making it and it looks amazing. But obviously,
I'm watching it now.
It's more like a vertical, you know, when he first showed it, it was more like a vertical slice than that. It wasn't even a game yet, you know, so now they're helping with it, I guess.
What do you think about, because I think Asia and China is pretty untapped there. We're starting to see some Chinese developers really make a splash. Well, not splash, but impress anyway. We've had Black Myth. Wukong looks really good. That's immediately comes to mind. Do you think like PlayStation, that's untapped territory? This is Jimmy's question. Do you think they'll make a splash there potentially?
Yeah, I never really, Alex probably knows more than me why like in the Chinese territory, there's not a lot of game development hasn't been coming out of there. I don't know, it's because they're a communist country or whatever the hell, but I'm like, I would assume there's you know, that's untapped potential versus, you know, we have plenty of like Japanese game development. I've always wondered why there wasn't more Chinese game development. You know, I'm not savvy. I'm not informed.
It's mostly because of the fact that it is a communist country. Yes.
Okay. I thought so too, but because they're also quite like strong in their anti-gaming measures. They have a curfew system. They have limitations on time. People playing they see as a bit of an addiction. It's counterproductive to the machine.
I mean, Activision Blizzard literally pulled out of that entire country. Every game is gone except for Diablo Immortal, if you can think about it like that. Well, NetEase made it.
Yeah.
And NetEase is a big partner for them, so they're no longer working with them. So they pulled out of everything from China. They're no longer. That's honestly, that's a big reason why that stock tanked recently.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. I guess Tencent will be filling the gap in somehow. But interesting super chat. Thank you for that, Jimmy. Coldweed, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Because Xbox had to rebuild from mistakes made at the tail end of the 360 and Xbox One generation. There's plenty to look forward to this generation from Xbox. Well, there is. But next year, if you tell me next year and those games don't hit.
Yeah.
Actually, I've saved a receipt from you, BG, earlier this year in some interaction where you said Starfield is not going to hit. Mark my words. Do you still think that? Do you think it's going to be like mid?
Well, it's not my type of game either way, so it's definitely not going to hit for me. And I just, the thing is, the expectation of that game is so high. I don't think it's going to reach the expectation. And I always tell y'all, stop setting such high standards and expectations for these games because it hurts it more than it helps it. That's my thing. Because I said the same thing about, you know, Cyberpunk. I was like, y'all are hyping up Cyberpunk to be something that it's going to be really hard to achieve. It's not that Starfield is not going to be good, but the way y'all talk about this is the same way people talked about Cyberpunk, is that it was going to be the best thing since Pants with Pockets and Jesus coming back. That's the problem.
I've never heard of Pants with Pockets.
Neither have I.
Can y'all, if y'all just mildly say this game is going to be good, I think it could even be great. But like, you know, it's gonna be the greatest thing ever. Tweets that always hurt games like this. That's the real problem.
You set yourself up for failure then by hyping it up to stratospheric levels, and then the game doesn't come close to it, and then you complain about Jeff Keighley not nominating it because it didn't hit -5 of meta. And yeah, it's a great point. I agree with you. I think Starfield could potentially do well, but when I say well, I mean I manage my expectations. It's going to be a good RPG Fallout in space. I think the performance will be pretty terrible. I don't know if it'll run on 60. Possibly lots of bugs. Bethesda. But yeah, definitely, Xbox still needs to hit. I think for me, Starfield needs to be close to a 90 meta if you care about that, for it to be really the success people are setting it up to be. But who knows?
I think it's going to sell well regardless, or it's going to be
it'll sell, yeah.
Game Pass, right? But the thing is, like, is it going to be another Fallout New Vegas where it's just revered over time?
That's a good question. That's a good point. Could be one where, in retrospect, that's viewed. I think Starfield will do well. I think there's a lot more to it. It's not your 76. One, it has to dispel the bad taste from Fallout 76. Then it needs to establish itself as a good space RPG. And I think it can do both those things. I'm confident in that. I also think it needs to hit high review-wise to be the success the way people are. That I'm in between about. But as a game, I think it will be good. I'm hoping it'll be good, but who knows? Final topic, really, before actually, second last topic, and we've got about 45 minutes to talk about it. This topic. Now, I know we're sick and tired of ABK bullshit, and this stupid thing is dragging like mad, but we did see some major developments here because, or at least we now know that Sony is not happy. Sony does not want this deal to go through, despite the fact Microsoft has come out and said they'll offer this Call of Duty. That's all they talk about. Call of Duty, COD. Offering it for 10 years, and yet PlayStation has still yet to comment. And now we know PlayStation simply doesn't even want the deal to be done. And I commented on this, and this got a fair bit of traction, mostly positive or negative from the Xbox side, or like, yeah, and this is my view on it. And you might think it's a bit emotive and it makes sense, but I will substantiate. I want to hear your thoughts on this, gents. I think I said the PlayStation's image was forever besmirched by this acquisition, this whole ABK fiasco, because not only are they being hypocritical, not only are they being obstructive to a competitor making its moves, but I think is a positive, but it just makes PlayStation look really weak. Like you're making Sony throws EA under the bus. Says, Electronic Arts, one of the largest third-party developers after Activision, has tried for many years to produce a rival to Call of Duty with its Battlefield series. Despite the similarities and despite EA's track record in developing successful AAA franchises and its sites, FIFA, Mass Effect, Need for Speed, and Star Wars Battlefront, the Battlefield franchise cannot keep up. As of August 2021, more than 400 million COD games have been sold, while Battlefield has just sold 88.7 million. Now, I want to try and break this into these different topics. Is that, on that point, I get it, like, that closest competitor is Battlefield, but is that a valid point, BG? Do you think that's a valid point? If you're Sony, a regulator.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah. I don't think so, but, I tell people all the time, I don't care about this topic. I hate talking about this acquisition. I think people who are even like really emotionally invested into this I find it a little bit weird. I find it really weird. Look, I want it to go through so everybody could just stop talking about it. I'm tired of it being in the news cycle. My enjoyment from this comes from like Microsoft and Sony are having like a reverse dick measuring contest, because Sony is trying to tell them like we're weak, right? Look at everything Xbox has, right? They've literally been coming up with imaginary numbers for the other company that they don't even know. They said Xbox has they have 29 million or 30 million Game Pass numbers. PlayStation doesn't even know that, and Xbox said something about PlayStation boasting about their numbers that like Xbox doesn't even know that. I'm like, yo, y'all are literally this is the only circumstance you'll ever see one company brag about the other one. Like what?
It's basically like, no, his dick's bigger. No, his dick's bigger.
They are literally saying
his dick is bigger.
Each other's dick is bigger. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like I said, I don't care about Call of Duty or the King shit. None of this matters to me. Whether the deal goes through or not, I'm just here for the fact that they are just doing funny shit to each other that would never be done either way. I don't care about anything else.
I think this whole thing makes PlayStation look like shit, because the fact that if this does stop because of PlayStation, it doesn't go through, they just cost Activision Blizzard $70 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
good luck trying to get a deal with them after you fuck them up.
It's not gonna be like, oh, we're cool now. Like, this is $70 billion. Like, you cost me.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
I think too, like, I think it's just really pathetic how both companies are acting like children, fighting for a toy that doesn't even know if this toy is going to be worth the money they're paying for within those 10 years. And the thing is, I feel like Sony has enough good quality developers that they can truly go in there and make a good first-person shooter. The fact that Insomniac has been putting the PS5 on its back the last 2 fucking years is a testament to how good that fucking studio is.
Absolutely.
And to tell me that you can't sit there and say, well, Guerrilla went from an FPS to a third-person action game and hit it out of the park. You can't do that with anybody else. There's no other way you can do it in 10 years.
Bro, they've bought the studio that made one of the best first-person shooters ever. Are you telling me Bungie can't make bro, they made a first-person shooter that made their competitors' console viable.
And now they have that studio that has one of the best FPS MMOs out there. You're telling me that you can't have them do something?
You can't build Resistance,
anything?
you can't bring Killzone, you can't bring all these first-person shooters. When PlayStation tried...
Fuck that, PG, you ready? You ready, PG?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where is SOCOM? You want a competitor, where is SOCOM?
I said this. The best thing that could probably ever happen to PlayStation fans is this deal going through. So the ones that are like, oh, we don't want it to go through, I'm like, y'all are idiots.
Exactly.
If this deal goes through and PlayStation is like, okay, COD, they're still going to have COD according to, what Phil Spencer says.
10 years.
But the fact that they're not making like the money from it that they would, they're going to, even though nothing will ever be close to being as successful as COD, they are still going to try to make something that, PlayStation, make multiple things that could give PlayStation fans some first-party multiplayer to go to. And I'm like, that's the best thing that could possibly happen to PlayStation fans. So I don't know why I don't want this to go through.
This is what I'm so glad you said that, because this is the thing I've been trying to get at. It's like, as a PlayStation fan, your studios are mad. You're there. This is why PlayStation is making itself look worse, because it's shooting the fanboy narrative completely to bits. And PlayStation fanboys will always say, we have the best studios, the best exclusives. And then here you've got the company itself crying about a third-person singular IP, even if it's Call of Duty, that's a multiplayer FPS. I mean, it's like you completely undid all the fanboy arguments. If you are a PlayStation fan, and you genuinely believe, and I believe in the strength of Sony's first-party studios, I've said it so many times, Sony could not only build an excellent FPS. One, they can do that. Two, they could actually shit on Halo, because 343 fucked up Halo. Imagine a space-based FPS bailed by Bungie to completely shit on. Now they've set up to deliver the Halo killer, even because Halo killed itself, basically. Why, as a PlayStation fan, are you celebrating the deal not going through because it'll affect PlayStation's bottom dollar? It makes no sense. Yeah. You're still getting COD. Why are you celebrating that? This is the thing with the PlayStation fanboys I don't understand. Because if it was the other way around and my Xbox bias, I'm like, make the deal go through so Microsoft can finally get its finger out of its ass and build a first-person shooter. That's the mentality it should be.
Some of the best PlayStation products have come after they've lost a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely. Bro, they lost a shit ton of money on online, in the online space. There's a different kind of analogy. PlayStation 3 didn't have enough RAM to have party chat. It was a generation behind in online space. Next gen PlayStation 4 immediately had everything right. Copy the Xbox playbook, but then shat on the Xbox with a easy to build hardware, incredible online system. They had PlayStation Plus devised to bridge the gap that its online infrastructure lacked. And then Xbox ended up copying PlayStation. If you're a PlayStation fan, you want excellent games and a first-person shooter, you'd want this deal to go through because you don't want your company to be relaxed, relying and coasting on a third-party deal that you fucking...
But that's exactly what they want. I'm saying not they as in the fanboys. That's what Sony wants. They don't want to have to do that. I mean, I think that they've relied on third-person action-adventure games with stealth elements for too long.
I know. So true. I think that they've done that way too much. Hence this last-minute one. I'll say this I said this on your show, BG, and the comments were like, did this mother flipper actually say this? And I'll say it again. Bungie's acquisition was a desperate buy for that price. Compared to ZeniMax at $7 billion, 3.3 bill or 3.9 bill for Bungie, just for a studio that has a singular IP, is desperate. Not a bad move, but it's desperate. But there's so many things to unpack here. This is why I get emotive about it. I was like, I want PlayStation to deliver that. 343 deserve the smoke. I want that competition in this space. I love my first-person shooters. Sony could do it, but people are just ratifying the company's attitude, and I just think it's sad. I agree with you. It's funny, and some of the quotes here are ridiculous. Sony says consumers will be harmed if this deal goes through. Can either one of you gents, explain to me how that potentially could?
I have no idea what that even means.
How? I mean, they don't substantiate it. I'm making a video on the 22-page document I've read from top to bottom. I'm like, what the fuck is this statement? What does that mean? Substantiate.
Bro, it's literally just making shit up to not make the deal go through, which I understand is their job, right? And Jim Ryan probably understands, like, yeah, this deal is definitely going to go through, but I'm not going to make it easy on you. So I'm just going to make up a whole bunch of bullshit to at least bare minimum delay it. That's probably what it was.
You're right. Wait, isn't he winning already? From 3 years, they've extended it to 10. Maybe that stuff is like literally squeezing out as much as possible. FTC seem to be rallying up to contest this. Microsoft might have to litigate the way things are shaping up.
What the FTC is they're going to prepare a lawsuit in case they find something that isn't good. That way they don't have to waste time preparing the lawsuit. They're just going ahead of the curve right now. Okay.
I haven't folled exactly what the FTC is doing.
Did a whole thing on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to watch Hogs. He's great at covering that. But yeah, that to me is stupid. Microsoft then admits its games are worse than bloody Sony's. No shit. But the fact that I had to do that. Then Microsoft then said, Call of Duty is not that important because the polls, people don't like it, and some other bullshit excuse. I'm like, come on, Get your head out of your ass. Sony say PlayStation Plus is substantially behind Game Pass. What does it say? Sony claims Microsoft's strategy is to make PlayStation like Nintendo. This is what they said. Microsoft claims that Nintendo's differentiated model demonstrates that PlayStation doesn't need COD because of Nintendo. Look at it, Nintendo. But
so they're going to make the PlayStation more successsul?
Bro, is
that what they're trying to say? Like, is that what PlayStation's trying to say? Like, that's a stupid argument. So Nintendo makes 10 million, like, they make billions of dollars just by shitting out a game, and they're going to make us like that? Great.
Bro, Microsoft wants PlayStation to become like Nintendo so that it would be a less closed-off competitor to Xbox. And the rationale, Alex, is post-transaction, Xbox would become the one-stop shop for all best-selling shooter franchises. Call of Duty, Halo, Gears, Doom, Overwatch. Flip. So you're not going to build any of your own games. You bought Bungie, that you completely missed out Destiny there, which is a lot more successful than Halo Infinite now. Come on, man. This is where I come from when I come to this topic. So when I say things like this, just shows that. This is where people are quoting me all the time. It said the image is besmirched, is rife with hypocrisy, gross exaggeration, and real desperation. I don't think I'm out of the loop when I'm saying that, or I'm not out of left field. And I said, is this really the demeanor of a market leader conducting itself with any pride? And people latched on the pride word. But the Sony, man, a Japanese company, pride means everything. Even if you are a company, corporate pride means a lot. I don't know. We talked about it quite a bit. Let me just read those super chats. Grumble, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Goes, are you all really pretending that there isn't a Skyrim in space? It's going to be... Oh, this isn't Skyrim in space. It's going to be huge. It's not multiplayer.
It's going to be boring.
It's not Fallout, and it's not being rushed. I mean,
listen,
I want it to be
Todd's
good.
Lies too
Grumble.
easily.
I don't think he's that much of a liar. I think people are... Wait, substantiate. Why do you think Todd's a liar? I don't think he's a liar.
Oblivion.
What did he lie about? Horse armor? I don't know. What did he lie about?
Everything in Oblivion.
Really? I'm asking.
No, literally everything.
Does anyone know what that means? I don't know what that means.
Like the entire chat system that he made was going to be so like huge and like deep. It's just a fucking circle. You just pick the one that's the best one for you. Like everything he talked about in Oblivion was an actual lie. There's a huge video done on that. It's called Tell Me Lies, Howard.
But Oblivion was amazing, no?
If that was your first Elder Scrolls game, sure. There's a little game called Morrowind and Daggerfall you should play instead. Yeah.
What about Skyrim? Skyrim in space, that alone, Skyrim was massive.
Massive, okay, sure, but also boring.
Okay.
I have.
Asa, are you not triggered by it? Massive Skyrim fan who plays it in VR. Say something.
VR makes everything better. VR Skyrim is wonderful. Mods make it wonderful. Exactly.
I don't know.
I tried.
I've never been a fan of the whole series. So,
Acer, tell me about virtual reality, but also in the adult entertainment industry. How's that going?
I'm not in the adult entertainment industry. What have
have you partaken of that entertainment?
Have I partaken of that entertainment?
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Gaz definitely has. It's not good. I don't recommend it.
It's not good?
No.
It is good. The first thing I ever did when I bought my Quest was...
That's what everybody does.
That's the first thing I did. And I was like, whoa! And then I actually got a little bit shy in the video. I'm like, oh, shit.
What do you mean you got shy?
I'm not... Okay, I'm not going to go into detail about this. We'll talk about after the show. I was like, ooh, there's a little bit blushing. Do you watch porn, BG? Sorry. What are you going to say, BG?
What? I don't have. I haven't had a VR device yet. But I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I don't think that's what I'm going to do.
That's like the first thing you should do.
Don't knock it till you try it. But
as far as like, I've never been into Elder Scroll. It's just not for me. But I just think I'm usually skeptical about games that are too braggy about like, oh, it's the scope and the scale. It's going to be bigger than anything you've ever seen and better than anything you've ever seen. And it's going to have 1,000 planets and all. When they start saying stuff like that,
No Man's Sky.
That's a red flag for me. I don't like those words. I don't like those words when any game, bigger scale than you've ever seen before in your entire life. No,
yeah.
I don't like it. So there's a lot that comes with that, and it's hard. It's hard to accomplish.
Yeah, I agree with you because those kind of lofty statements usually have bit me in the arse. And I remember Peter Molyneux's words with Fable and that scope. God, I'm still waiting for the trees.
That's another liar.
Yeah, he is another liar, and he's gone now, which is a shame. He's not dead. He's just gone from the space. Sorry, I had to clarify.
Away. I was like, what the shit?
Sorry, apologies. That did sound a bit morbid. Cold Weed. Thank you for the $5 super chat, because I said generation. PlayStation wasn't all that great or consistent first party wise until 2017. People just pretend the first few years don't exist for the PlayStation 4. Actually, it did exist. It was shit. It was pretty bad. And then the Order 1886 came out. That was bad. It was Bloodborne that saved it. But after those 2 years, PlayStation was smashing out of the park, especially comparatively cold. Come on, man. Spartan Ghost, thank you for the £5 super chat, man. They've been very generous today. He goes, Starfield has no protagonist VA in 2022. Sad. Voice actor in 2022. Sad tale. I disagree. I don't care. Todd Howard is also known for being a master in capping. Oh, Alex's point. So why people think this is different, I don't know. Well, look at the game. I think it looks good. I don't know, man. I don't know about these Todd Howard lies. I know Fallout 76 was a bane of contention, a point of contention. He mentioned something about the subsystems there, but I think Starfield can hit. It looks good to me. I'm just worried about the fluff in the game, like the 1,000 worlds and how that's going to work with this cogent story. But I'm confident because Starfield represents the best chance for an Xbox first-party game in the near future to deliver the quality it so desperately needs, other than Forza Motorsport. But let's see. Spartan Ghost, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Sony sounds like a bit of ex-wife and girlfriend. Yes, it does. And there's no coming back from that. Okay, on this point, I just ask, because people are mocking Ryan McCaffrey for saying this, but I actually agree with him, irrespective of the way he said it. Alex, you made a great point saying you piss off and stop the $70 billion deal going through for ABK. Do you think you can come back to them, bed with them, and hey guys, sorry about that, some timed exclusivity?
That's going to be a big issue because you're basically like, you cost us $70 billion fucking dollars.
What about Microsoft though? Ryan McCaffrey said, well, if this deal doesn't go through, I think BG, you took issue with the way he said it as well. Then Microsoft could retaliate and really make PlayStation feel the pain. I think they can, they should, and I pray they will. Mean? Well, a lot of people are saying that they can just double down on doing what Sony do and money hack the shit out of the industry, which would be terrible. I think but he was saying they could fight back in Japan and get time exclusivity for Square Enix games and some other shit. I just think Microsoft can go full scorched earth. All right, you don't want to let us have the $70 billion. We'll go smaller pockets and just take over.
Embracer Group.
Well, buy Embracer. That's another. They can't do that.
I mean, why not? Bro. I mean, you got the money. Do what you need to do, man. Like, listen, the thing I just found I like Ryan McCaffrey. Like, he's like I listen to that podcast, you know, their IG and Xbox podcast, like weekly. I like him. I just found like his tweet to be one of those, like I said earlier, those emotionally invested tweets. Like, he used the word vengeance in there, like, you know, Xbox may come back with a vengeance or something like that. And I'm like,
why can you not use that? That's a fair word.
But it just made it sound like, you know, they were like Batman or something, and like
like you're really invested in this, bro.
Yeah, it made them sound like they were Batman coming back, you know, to get the Joker after he killed Robin or something like that. That's what it sounded like. I'm like, listen, this is not that serious. I'm sorry.
It is serious. What are you talking about? It's $70 billion, people's lives on the line.
But Microsoft should be this emotionally invested in it, because this doesn't change anything for consumers, really, because
it does.
When the deal goes through, right? Yeah. What is the biggest difference that's going to happen is games are going to Game Pass, right?
That's one thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
It's a massive thing, but okay.
It's like everybody is going to have access to like Call of Duty still, and I'm just I understand it from the business. I understand it from the business point of view why they're that invested. But you have regular consumers on Twitter talking about, I'm going to write a letter to the CMA also. You're what?
Oh, dude, I saw that.
Excuse me? Listen. Jesus could be agreed to be acquired by Sony. I'm not writing a fucking letter.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Right? I'm not writing a letter to nothing.
And let me tell you
$1 billion.
That was one of the worst grammatically written letters I've ever seen in my life.
You're talking about Ghost MRD or MLD?
Like, yo, how do you sit there and write a letter and you can't even like bro, there's so many applications you can buy that help you with your grammar. Where to put a fucking comma.
I like, and I'm cool with MLD. But listen, the day I write a letter on behalf of a $1 billion company, put me in a straitjacket. I'm not writing a letter on behalf of nobody. Nobody that's not paying me. You gotta pay me to write a letter. I don't give a fuck who Sony is acquired. I ain't writing shit. That was insane to me. What?
I disagree. I completely agree with you. That to me was insane. You were talking about $1 trillion. Sorry, Argy. He wrote a letter as well. But that's $1 trillion company there. You think I'm going to come in and fight their fight by writing a letter to UK regulators? I'm like, fuck that. I do enough by talking about it, let alone taking my time to write to them a letter that they will wipe their ass with.
Spam folder.
Yeah, spam folder immediately. I remember when I used to work retail, people used to give me their CV, or you call it a resume, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll put it in the special folder, which is called the bin or the trash." Yeah. So, yeah, but I don't. The word vengeance there isn't out of pocket. It isn't out of pocket. Like, that's a right way to describe a company that is actually going to retaliate and is going to be angry. And then
if they do, as they should. Listen, I said money is probably Microsoft's biggest advantage and asset. They should use it. I'm not against them using it. Do what you need to. You got the money. Do what you need to. If that's what happens, it happens. But it's like I said, it's the emotional investment on the consumer part that I find a little bit weird. But if that happens, if the off chance that PlayStation somehow stops this deal, and then Microsoft wants to be like, okay, you fucked us, we're gonna fuck you every way possible, bro.
That's amazing.
I think they should.
That's gonna be amazing.
I
That'll be so much fun.
I say all the time that Microsoft is too nice, or gives the appearance that they're too nice outwardly with PlayStation, congratulating them when they break awards on games. Hey, PlayStation, how you doing? Patting them on the back, slapping them on the ass. Good job. Like, what are you doing?
When the games score really well done for hitting a 90+ Metascore. We can't actually get our own games up on that.
And when Xbox and Microsoft hits a 90 Metacritic, crickets from PlayStation. Crickets. They're not giving you shit. Why are you being so nice to them? It's like this toxic positivity, like Tony calls them positivity peddlers. You're just selling positivity just to look good, for the optics and the people. Like, man, stop all this nice stuff.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think hardcore Xbox guys, you would agree, right? The two Mr. Nice Guy Xbox, that kind of like MDMA laden sentiment just seems a bit like forced. Yeah. Huggy Channy with a $5 super chat. I guess EA doesn't have Apex. I guess other games from ABK are insignificant. Only Call of Duty matters. It's not about the dollars. It's not about competing with Game Pass. Huggy, again with the $10 super chat, he says, I love how Sony just snitched on themselves by detailing their own actions and called it anti-consumer and anti-competitive. That's a good point. Yeah. Waiting on regulators to put it all together. Don't put too much faith in them because it's still a political exercise and they can be stupid. Spartan goes, thank you with this £2 super £2 super chat. Goes, Starfield's story also seems very plain and boring. Well, we don't really know much about the story on Starfield, do we?
No.
It's all faction-based. Well, I don't know. I don't think we do. JD Storm, thank you with a very generous $10 super chat. My prediction, Sony is saying all this to make it as hard as possible for Microsoft. So if after they try to acquire another publisher, it gets denied. 2K, EA, Warner Brother Games. I think it's more than that, but I think there's an element of that to make it prohibitively just long-winded by sticking your oars in there. There's a fair point there, and it definitely will play in the minds. If it fails, then it's just like, we can't do it. Or they lose their appetite, because if they does pass, they're like, oh my God, that was a battle and a half. Phil Spencer has said it keeps him up at night. So what does that mean? Spartan Ghost, thank you with a £2 super chat, because BG, stop it. If it goes through, we get free stuff. It's not free, but yeah, it's on Game Pass.
It's free, you pay for it.
Yeah. Did I just see your cat?
Let me see that cat.
Yeah.
Let me see that cat.
No,
that's it.
Let me see that cat. Yeah.
Oh, there's some spray action right there. It's a Spotify listener. There's a cat. So cute. Oh.
She always does this.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. Oh man, I want to see a little.
Let me see if I can get mine. Hold on, let me get mine real quick.
Okay, we're getting doubling down on the pussy action today, chat. Your eyes screaming at me like, what are you doing? whilst he gets his cat, I want to move on to the final topic, and that's Callisto Protocol.
You're not going to ask me about Activision Blizzard. No, that's good. Carry on.
Are you not going to give a shit? I saw your face there. I read you very well. What do you want to say to all of this, Asa?
Do you know, today I was holding a shield and I was holding a sword and I didn't know how to pick up a salad bowl, so I balanced it on the shield, walked around the corner and flicked it at someone, then I stabbed them and then I beat them to death with the shield in virtual reality. That's fun to me. Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, I don't give a fuck. So thank you for not asking me. Let's just carry on. I
know. I was reading your language, your facial tics there. Not tics. You don't have facial tics. But, oh, John, look at it. It's so cute. What's the cat's name?
Harley Quinn.
Oh, so cute. Look at it just chilling on your... Oh. Where's BG and his cat? Oh, man. I need a cat. But the cat would just scratch up everything. Look at him just chilling. Oh.
No, come on.
What, Harley Quinn? That's a sick name. I guess I've gone. So I guess this is the Gaz and Asa show. I can't even introduce the next topic because it's about Callisto Protocol. Well, I'll do it anyway. Assuming the gents have headphones on, which they do. Yes, they do. Okay, fine. As BG comes back, my final topic is Callisto Protocol, a game that is far off from release. It's coming out next week. The week after next, 7th of December. I thought it was 7th in my head. I haven't got it in my calendar. Or maybe 3rd. Chat, let me know. But Callisto Protocol is coming out, and there was some beef with the game because it has a season pass, which I find weird for a single-player game. Why does it have a season pass? But Callisto Protocol also, in the season pass, relegated some death animations into it. So you get extra death animations to buy the season pass. Now people got pissed. What's your view on this?
The thing is, the season pass has extra content. There's extra content, has extra enemies. There's extra enemies, has extra death animations.
Exactly. So people kind of lost it. Yeah, exactly. So people got lost DLC
people
content.
That reported it were actual frauds. Mischief did a great video on it.
Who are the people that reported on it?
IGN.
Anything for the hits. Even the big boys will do the same. But look, what is the season? Oh, well, I guess it's DLC. What we always have just the eve before a big release, we have our Metacritic predictions. The game looks stellar. I did see your tweet, Alex, on this, where they compared render versus real life. And I still don't know if that's real or not, because it looks amazing.
No, you can tell by the nostril.
It was real or fake?
That it was like the left side was rendered. The nostrils.
Oh, different. Okay. I mean, in the in-game, the game is... You hate that.
I don't want realism.
You don't want realism?
No,
well,
I do not
in
want
any game?
Uncanny Valley. I don't want my games to look like real life. I'm already in real life. The last thing I want to do is have more real life.
But well, I mean, you got a variety of games. At least one game going for Uncanny Valley or something.
They all try to do that. How can we make it more real? How could we? No.
Well, this is a game where it's, Uncanny Valley, but at the same time, you've got some flying weird limb aliens in there.
Exactly.
Surely.
So why does the face of the character matter that much?
Because you want to build a human connection, and then you see that face get ripped apart. Will make you feel a certain way.
Connections to Cloud in FF7 when he was 4 polygons.
Fine, I take that point on board. It's not necessary, but it does help. Like if you see a person well rendered. Look, Metal Gear Solid 1, I felt a certain way about Meryl where she was getting sniped by Sniper Wolf and she had like 3 polygons in her face. Mm-hmm. Fine, I felt a certain way then. But if I play a game like that now, it's going to be harder. I don't
it's
know.
More than just the visual. It's the acting. It's the voice acting. It's the way the character's portrayed. It's how the character shows up. You can have a great looking character and have a great looking render, and the game is acted like shit, voiced like shit, plays like shit. You're not going to care.
I agree, but I don't hate Uncanny Valley. I think In some genres, it can work.
You know where it works? You know where it works? VR. That's why Asa is like, yeah.
Asa, indeed.
That's where it works. And the thing is, like in a video game, more detail is better, yes. But where is that detail being spent? Is it being spent on a main character who I'm going to look at the back of their head for the next 30 hours? Or is it going to be spent
that's a good point.
Like the fucking actual enemies that I'm fighting that really create a horror aspect?
Yeah.
Like if they were like, yo, check out how sick these enemies look, I would have been like, yo. But if it was like, look at the faces, it's so good. I don't care.
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing that pissed me off about Evil West. You have so crap graphics and the same NPCs in the oil rig. They're all the same character. I'm like, bro, they're the same guy. It's voice dialogue with cutscenes. You're zooming into his face. It's the same guy that was, but they're different people. But Uncanny Valley aside, although that's a good conversation, I don't agree with you. That I agree with you that graphics over everything is stupid. I agree that gameplay and story and music and all of that matters as well. I disagree that some games shouldn't achieve that because it can help them. But with Callisto Protocol, this game looks incredible. Like it's crapping on the works of the remake that's coming out in Feb. What is your prediction about this game hitting? Will it hit? Because this is pretty hyped now.
89.
Do you think 80? I was gonna say fuck. I can't even say the same thing now. I was gonna say 89. Really? I could say 89. Fuck it. I'll say 89. That's my Metacritic prediction.
I think it's going to be lower in the 80s, low 80s. I'm actually going to say like 81. The only thing, because I'm hyped about this game, but the only thing that worries me is like something about it feels very like scripted almost from what they showed us. And that could just be the way they delivered it, right? A lot of things feel like extremely like they're scripted parts. And I don't know. I guess I feel like the game is going to be kind of short, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but shorter than what it should be. Because, it's a horror survival game. It should be, it shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be like over 20 hours or something like that, like maybe 15. I don't know. But there's just something about it that I'm just unsure about, even though I'm excited about it, like that we don't know or haven't seen or that they haven't shown. I don't know.
I think I kind of get where you're coming from because it seems a bit confined, which is kind of the scope of the game. Like Dead Space was quite confined, and I think the way I see this faltering is if it's a lot of Dead Space, but redone in a different setting with better visuals and gameplay. But that alone is, I think, what people are expecting is that. But I don't know. I kind of get where you're coming from. It's hard to explain.
I mean, was it the Team X not Volition, Visceral?
Glenn
Schofield.
I mean, I expect a lot of Dead Space in there.
Yeah, it is pretty much Dead Space. I mean, bloody hell, even aesthetically with the health bar and the UI melded into
it. Like a PUBG spinoff too.
They said for some reason initially they said this is happening in the PUBG universe. I don't know how that would make sense, but then they said they stopped that. Then they said it's not. I don't even understand how this would take place in the PUBG
because
universe.
PUBG doesn't even have a story. Like, what are you doing?
No, and
I think they're trolling there. That's like saying it's in the Fortnite universe. It makes no sense. I think they're trolling there.
They're owned by the PUBG guys. Chat says. I don't know about that.
Asa?
That's all true. Like they definitely said it was in the PUBG universe, and then a year later or so they said, kind of not.
No,
it was a bit silly, but I don't think they were trolling.
But
really?
Yeah, but I'm going with low 80s. Yeah, I'm going with low 80s. Definitely in
low 80s, and you're 89. I'm thinking between 89 and 91, but I'll settle on 89. Asa, what's your Metacritic score?
Yeah, I was also probably low 80s. It's hard to tell. Like all the trailers have been very. It's not just scripted, they're weird set pieces. Like all of the combat has been in rooms with these weird vertical meat grinders. And it's like, who did the risk assessment on this space station? I don't understand. And the thing that worried me was the Summer Games Fest. They did, look at our exciting new gameplay segment. This is something you've never seen before. And it was a slide down in the water section. That was like,
Oh yeah.
Now I suddenly have concerns about this game, but hopefully it'll turn out good. And even if it doesn't, I don't really care what the review score is. Like, it looks fun to me either way, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's the best way to do it. If the review scores like,
oh my bad,
I played.
And the only other thing is, like, it doesn't mean anything, in actuality. But I'm just games that come out in December. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you should delay it.
You're like Jeff Keighley then, because he doesn't even care for them in the Game Awards. That was a joke. But yeah, December. That's so weird. What? Why? That makes no sense.
It just doesn't feel right. Like, why? Because like my thing is, if you can release your game in December, just put it in January. Like what? Like what are you losing? What are you losing out on by releasing it in December? I'm like, just take the little bit of extra time and put it at the end of January. I just like.
Why December?
December is notoriously a cursed month for video game releases. We had Mike Rose was saying as well, like, you do not release a game in December because you will not sell that game if you release it in December. And it's obviously something that the industry has learned over time. December is just a month you don't release things in, and it could well be that this one like buckles that trend. It is a big game, and there are people getting new consoles Christmas Day. Maybe they're going to be looking at their shopping and seeing what they can get. But historically, driven by masses of data, it's very rare to see games released in December. We've got a few coming this year. We've got High on Life in December as well. Probably some other things I've forgotten about, so we shall see.
High on Life in December. Oh, I'm suddenly worried about Callisto Protocol because Halo Infinite released in December. Well, part of it anyway, and we know how that went. High on Life. Do you guys expect High on Life to be good? I think the humor is good, but I think the game.
I don't.
You don't think it's going to be good, Alex? Both of you judges.
No,
it looks a bit.
People seem to be hyped because the dudes who made Rick and Morty are making this. I've never watched Rick and Morty.
What? Oh my god!
I'm the old school cartoon guy. Courage the Cowardly Dog and Dexter and all that. So I never watched these new. I never watched these new cartoons. Not saying they're bad.
You gotta watch that.
But I think people are more hyped because of the humor and the tone of it than the gameplay. And I'm like, what? So what? Like, what is it?
That's true. I'm hyped about it because
I'm not excited for High on Life because the writers are from Rick and Morty. Fuck Rick and Morty. It's a bad cartoon. People that like it don't know fucking good shows. All Rick and Morty is a knockoff Futurama. That's exactly what it fucking is. Don't play that game. So smart and intellectual. You gotta know physics to learn Rick and fuck. No, Rick and Morty sucks. Rick and Morty sucks.
I apologize for Alex's shit views on Rick and Morty. It's a good show. It's an incredible show. That's one of the worst
things Adult Swim has ever gotten behind is fucking Rick and Morty. Fuck that shit.
No, it's not. It fits Adult Swim perfectly.
Rick and Morty sucks. Mr. Pickles sucks. Whatever else on Adult Swim sucks now. Like all that shit. Rick and Morty sucks.
Eric Andre doesn't suck on.
I still don't even know which one is Rick and which one is Morty. So, like,
oh my god, sacrilege, ladies and gentlemen. These gents may never represent the views of GameOnDaily. What are you saying?
Neither did Gaz.
You did. And on that note, we've hit the 2-hour mark. It has been a very fiery chat. One of my favorite kind of discourses like this, where we don't necessarily agree, because what's the point of an echo chamber? It has been an excellent show. Shadow's 500 people plus still watching. Hit the like button if you did enjoy the show. Gents, massively grateful for both of you coming on. Alex, BG, you agreed on most things, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's there's going to be like a really bad natural disaster coming up in the next couple of days because of that. Just letting you know, it's never when we. What else did we agree on about some kind of reviewer doing something stupid?
Oh, what was it? I saw it earlier.
It was something.
I can't.
It was like a reviewer doing something, and I was like,
just really.
No, you're stupid, dumb. And you're like, yeah, you're stupid too, and I was like, yeah. It was something. It was like a reviewer said something, did something dumb.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it was.
I remember as well. I saw you two. Like I said, these two agreed, and the light bulb. What would they be like together? Because I'm sure they love each other, and today confirmed that you do, gents. You have opposing views on value and gaming and what it means as a hobby, but ultimately
it was for Nival. It was Nival being nominated for content creator.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we all agree on that. Thank you, God. Why is that the case? That is so
because he has friends in the journalism industry, and that's why.
I think a lot of people like to virtue signal in the space. Like the guy who's not a content creator. That's a
have you first? Is this your first time in the gaming industry?
It's not, but I do agree with the sentiment that Nibel, as nice as he was and as useful as his tweets were, if that qualifies as content, I'm sorry, but that's a low bar. You're stretching the definition of content. And then there you go. There's another reason why you need transparency in how these things are decided. What's the criterion for this? Like, give us an explanation or a summary. Why is Sifu a fighting game? This is what we're alluding to. Come full circle. Nibel Black Ronin is a used, well, he is, just not dead, but he keep doing this today. He used to tweet out and summarize the news in a good format. That's all he did. And then he said, I'm not making enough money on this as much as I thought. I'm going to stop. Fair enough. You have to feed yourself. We could have told you, well, the smart play is in building your own channel or something and not just rely on Twitter to make money. But Business Ethics Society, he's gone. He stopped doing it. And yeah, these two gents finally came together and agreed. I'm sure it won't take long before you two are knocking heads, but that's how it works. That's how discourse works. That's how life works. But at its core, you're lovely people. Both gents, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you had a good time on the show. I hope it wasn't too long for you both. Alex, pleasure as always. We didn't get any nipple or thigh action, but...
Not today. You will tonight if you come on my stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. Things get wild.
I will come on your stream. I will come on the stream. I see your reaction. I see BG. Your facial expression has not changed in the 2 hours you've been in the show. I cannot have a read on you. Me and you need to play poker together. I still will beat you. BG, I hope you had a good time, man. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. Just tell the people. Did you have a good time? Be honest. You can say shit.
No, great. No, listen, I always enjoy coming on here. GameOnDaily is always somewhere I'll come on in here and talk whatever.
Thank you, man. And shout out to you. And thank you, Asa, for sharing the content. There it is. Follow BG. I was on his podcast. I had so much fun on your show, by the way. Yeah. I had such a great time on the show. The panel was ridiculous.
Weapon Wheel Podcast. Weapon Wheel Podcast on Sundays at 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
Check it out. I was on there once. I just got overshadowed by the personalities. They were so good on that show. Great podcast. Both of you gents. Asa, I know you enjoyed that behind us, the ABK talk. Any outro? You want anything to say?
So I'm refocusing a lot of my streaming and things towards my beloved virtual reality now. I've got Fancy Meta Quest Pro, and I'll be streaming a lot more of that in the coming weeks. It's lots of fun. Other things going on with GameOnDaily, so keep an eye on this channel. Thank you very much, Broken Games, Alex, for coming along and talking to us and keeping everyone entertained. And yeah, that's me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, I have to say, we got nominated for Best New Podcast, beating 1,000 other nominees, only 5 other people in high esteem with Games Mess and Skill Ups Podcast. Very humbled. Wouldn't even remotely come close if it wasn't for the people who support us, which is you and our guests who take the time to make the show what it is. So it's all you. Thank you so much. Genuinely. Oh, cat. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have lots of videos. Also, I promise you from now on, I will work on more content every week. I keep saying it, but now I think I have a format that works because YouTube really didn't want consistency, and so do you. I hear you loud and clear.
BG, you got to give her butt scratches.
Oh, brother.
Do the top of the butt. Come on.
End the show, man.
Demonetized. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and take care.